Riders, moto community, wow. I've been done talking about this, and yet I'm going to speak a little bit more about it because I think it's important, and I come from a little bit different perspective on everything's going on here. And I want to say that I'm incredibly proud of the moto community, guys like Tyler from MX Factory and Cooksey, reaching out to all these people and really trying to make a difference and get to the bottom of this stuff, not just taking it from the promoter and basically the centralized entity that is controlling the sport, just as taking stuff as facts, right? You're starting to get information from a bunch of different places. And I know Cooksey's tired of talking about this. Him and I have talked about this to nauseum, and amongst other people have. But it's important. It's actually the big issue that's going on here. And it's got a lot to do with, I'm just going to say it, cancel culture, right? You know, it's stepping on the little guys. Abso-effing-lutely stepping on the little guys. And that's kind of how the sport has been built. It's been built off, like if you're looking at a pyramid, the bottom is everybody buying bikes, consuming product, you know, putting VP fuel in their bikes, the gear, whatnot, going to the races, right? For certain companies to succeed. Mainly big promoters and manufacturers. And them, okay, this, just like what my clickbait title is all about. It's cancel culture. Brennan supposedly has lost his ride over there in Canada and, you know, support in amongst other sponsors, right? And that's even after he dropped the whole bike claim scenario deal. It sounds completely like strong-arming the little guy because you have the resources. And the people in power are going to stay in power as long as the little guy shuts the hell up, right? It's part of the reason why I started my channel. And one of the very first videos I talked about was, you know, the whole press day stuff. That was probably my first video that went viral and got people talking about, hey, you know, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. And I know there's information out there that, hey, or at least people are suggesting that the claiming rule should be changed. No, the claiming rule should not be changed. It should not be changed because what I believe MX Sports and other promoters, AMA, are going to do is they're going to change that rule. They're either going to take it out so that the factories can bring whatever they want at an amateur event and don't have to risk losing their bikes or their technology. Because here, let's just listen to what Derek says. He's the motor builder. He's the guy that was accused of trying to tear apart the bike.
And he goes, look, we've got a lot of time and we've got a lot of technology wrapped up in that bike, and we just flat out can't let it out. We can't let it get open.
And one thing I forgot to mention was it sounds like bribery when it comes to, hey, we'll give you 2 motors and you'll get to ride a bike if you don't do this.
Story to tell, but what he was told was some deals were struck and there was some stuff that he was trying to, supposed to get. One of the big things that the Yamaha guy did say earlier on was, you just want to ride the bike, right? And so Brennan said yes. And so to my understanding, and again, nothing's in writing, which is probably a huge mistake on everybody's part, but my understanding is that they did make an offer for him to get to ride that motorcycle or a comparable motorcycle, and then some other things. And so they dropped.
Right? That's coming from Yamaha. Supposedly this meeting, the alleged meeting that happened with everybody involved. And Star Yamaha didn't want their shit getting out there. Why wouldn't you want your shit getting out there? Because it's a competitive advantage, a competitive edge. And you mean to tell me, yes, I'm reaching here, that HRC and, Pro Circuit aren't competing with Star Yamaha, and therefore they may be doing the same loopholes and things, and they think that, hey, nobody's going to potentially use this rule because it's a small community. And this basically proves, in my eyes, that if you fuck with us, we're going to make sure that you're out, right? Completely. We're going to cancel you. And you're never going to have a deal in the sport, no matter if you win or what. We're going to make sure that you don't get the resources involved. And this is why I've talked to, again, nauseum about how you need to be lucky in this sport. You need to rub elbows with the right people. It's not just about talent. Everybody knows each other, right? Everybody knows each other. You've got to be in the clique. I've never been in the clique. In anything in my life, I've never been in the clique, right? I live by the whole Mark Twain quote: if you find yourself on the side of the majority, you should stop and reflect. And it's, granted, I could be in a completely different place if I was to lean that certain way, right? But I go against the grain. And it's cool to see a lot of these other YouTubers and just exceptional people start doing the same. And it saddens me to see that, hey, some kid is losing potentially opportunities in the sport, because we all know that we love this sport and there's so much that goes in this sport, and this sport is effing built off of lies and dreams. And it squeezes a rock till it bleeds. The rock is the consumers. And then once they're done with that, they go find somebody else. And so this is really the time to make a massive warning for all of just the industry that, hey, the consumers, power to the people, are really the ones that have the power. Because if we don't go buy the motorcycles, don't go attend the races, don't go subscribe to Flow or Mav TV or buy the gear, then they come to us begging for our business. If we want it to change, we all have to stand up and ask the questions. And yes, there are going to be casualties along the way. And it could include myself, but it looks like Brennan is a casualty here, because as soon as he decided to claim that motorcycle, his name was mud, according to at least how I'm reading between the lines here. Granted, these are not actual facts, right? You know, I have to say a disclaimer that I wasn't there. This is just the information that is being perceived, right? And I think his name was outed as soon as the claim came about. And power for him speaking out on the interview and saying how he thought it was really a factory bike. And then you have the motor guy come here saying that Yamaha told them that they have shit in the damn bike they don't want other people to have. It's not that hard to come to a conclusion. And him dropping the claim is exactly what they wanted to have happen. And then as soon as it happened, boom. It's not ironic to see that, hey, he's losing sponsorship and losing clout, okay? The dude, in my opinion, should have just continued to go through with it, because as soon as you made those accusations, bam, you better follow through with it, WFO, because they are coming after you, and they're coming after you hard. And that seems as if it happened exactly as planned, right? Is this coming from everyone or just certain sources? Who knows? Who knows? I'm saying as far as people involved, you know, but they're making a example out of poor Brennan, and that is incredibly awful. And it's basically the same reason that I've seen for a long time now as to why I don't go to the races, and as to why I sit here and I think to myself, why in the hell have I spent 3 years kind of talking about change and maybe wasting my time and into something that isn't really going to amount to anything. Same thing with my racing career, right? You know, we all know that I was a complete wannabe, right? And I had bad luck and I had good luck, and shit just worked out the way it happened, okay? But this is the time where everybody needs to just start talking and asking questions. And, you know, we talk about the family of the moto community. Where is it now? Okay? And this is the time we honestly need to not just forget about what this stuff happens. And continue to asking questions and continue to dig deeper and continuing to ask for change and continuing to ask other people for help. All right. It's the community, and we're just taking everything from centralized places, that higher ups, that this is the way it is, and that's the way it always will be. So stop worrying about it. This is the same fucking thing that, honestly, I get pissed off about the privateers a lot on, okay? Is because they are strong-armed into having low pay and high risk and no reward, right? But the reason why a riders union hasn't fucking worked is because everybody is scared. Everybody is scared because everybody has something to lose, all right? And the people at the top know what the riders are scared to lose. They're scared to lose their identities because their entire life has been centered around racing and a dream, okay? And that dream happens for the 1% of the 1%. You can have a list of like 5 people on your fingers that really had the dream, and we're talking of a country in the United States of 350 million people. I'm not even going to talk about the world. I'm just going to say in the United States, I can name 5 people where this shit really, really worked out, and they could potentially be okay without the sport. But you also have a lot of these guys coming back to the sport. Why? Because they don't know what the fuck else to do, and they're guys like Ricky Carmichael. Yeah, they've made their money, blah blah blah. They're come back, they've helping all stuff, but they continue to make money off of this deal. Maybe that's a bad example, okay? But Dungey's coming back to racing, and because there's a lifestyle that you're used to having, and you can't effing retire at 27 years old. You can't fucking retire, no matter if you've made $10 million in this sport. Guys, that is a small number. $10 million is not going to continue a lifestyle of spending $300,000 or $500,000 a year because you are used to something. You're used to those comforts. These guys are not NBA players. They're not football players that make $30 million a year, hundreds of million dollars over the course of their career. This sport is not a retirement sport. And so, if your demographic of people that make the sport happen, the consumers, if they are worried about losing the ability to go to the races, to not be able to sign up and race, they are not going to protest the people at the top. And this is kind of all starting to unravel because now we have a group from Australia making a World Supercross where they're going, you know what, that's fine. You guys are used to doing it a certain way. We've got a hedge fund behind us, all right, a couple $1 billion hedge fund. We've got a $25 million budget right here. Boom. We're going to go do this on our own. All right. And I'm digressing, okay? I'm really done talking about it. But I want to see what you guys have to say about this. And please, it's not what one person can do. It's a collective, all right? We need the public behind, the moto community to really be behind to say, hey, yeah, this is wrong, okay? This isn't okay. And I know the factories are worried about, hey, the next amateur national, boom, let's claim the HRC bike, let's claim the pro circuit bikes, let's claim all the little bikes out there, because there is money in the moto community that is able to do that stuff. But again, everybody is worried about the cancel culture that's going on. And is this potentially a PR stunt to hurt Brennan's name and his ability to go to the races? I kind of believe it is. All right. Yeah. Does it look bad? Yes. But what message does it send? It sends a message that you fuck with us, we're going to make sure you go down. All right. Again, this is hearsay. This is one man's opinion. You come to MX Unfiltered so that you can hear real shit. And I'm just incredibly proud of the moto community right now for individuals sticking up and saying their piece From Brennan to the motor builder to the people interviewing in the sport, Tyler to Cooksey, okay? This is incredibly important that we continue to do this and grow, because we don't just take for fact information from one place, right? But we've done it for so long. So power to everybody asking questions. This is Johnny F. and Hopper. Till next time.